This is a presentation of the first assignment that you need to do. I'm going to show you how the assignment would work if you code it correctly, and then I'm going to go over the specific requirements that went into building this assignment. What we've got here is a beginning of a mini application for King Real Estate, completely made up. And there's a form here, and you've seen all of these elements individually, but we're going to get them to work together in a small application. So I'm going to put my first name in here, last name, and then in the contact information I have a phone or email button to select. I'll leave it phone for right now. So that's a bogus phone number. Now here, city where you want to reside. There's a select list, Chicago, Detroit, or Toronto. I'll put Detroit. And then some comments like home away from street noise. I'll hit the submit button, and we can see here that we get a response. Thank you. A representative will contact you soon. You see the information for the phone number was listed, and that I'm interested in living in Detroit. And you've seen this before here, where we repeat the comments that the user put in there, but we give them a light gray background, and we disable the area so they can't retype it. If I just went back and ran this again, but this time I select email instead of phone number, I'll put in an email. That's not my real email. And I'll make a different city selection as well. And now you can see it says your email is steve@gmail.com and you're interested in living in Chicago. So the form responds to the user choices. Let's go take a look at the specifications. Here it is. Just a text file. It says you've been hired by King Real Estate to develop a site for their company. They want to make sure they like your work, so they'll break up the project into parts, so you develop one part at a time. Now, that first part was this application that I just showed you. We're going to build this as we proceed through the class and make a more robust, full real estate application. We'll be using things like databases and files and all kinds of advanced features of PHP and MySQL when we learn that. But for now, we've got to start with what we know. So you're going to need to develop a form to collect customer data, to put it in a guest book. But right now, we don't even really know how to write to a file or a database, so we're just going to display that data back on the form as you saw me do. So here's the actual criteria. Make sure that the application puts the logo at the top of the page. Customers should be able to enter their first and last name in separate fields. You saw that. We want to be able to make a choice on whether they want to be contacted with their phone number or their email, and you saw the radio buttons for that. And you see that there was a drop-down list, or more formally, a select option list of 3 cities that this real estate company deals with: Chicago, Detroit, and Toronto. The user is allowed to enter some comments, and then, of course, the submit button to submit this to the server. Now, when we click the button, we want to see the information entered by the user, and we want to redisplay it all so we see whether they entered their phone number or their email. You saw me do that. I clicked a different radio button and I got a different response. The top of the page should also include the company logo and a thank you message that you saw at the top of the page. Let them know that a representative will contact them soon. If you need to go back and review the video and you can see how it's supposed to look. Now be sure to display the comments that they make in the same format they enter them, but don't let them make any further changes to the text. So that's your assignment. Once you work with that, try to get this to work on your own with the material that we've already learned. After this video, I'm going to have another video which shows you me developing the assignment according to these specs, and then you can compare how you did it with how I did it and see how close we are.